Welcome, everybody. This is Midlife Vices, episode 127. We are here with Jared. He was the fantasy football champ. Check that out.
I see that coming.
Yeah. Yeah. So glad to have you here, and it's good to be back. It seems like we haven't done this for ages. Jim. How you doing?
New Year's Eve?
Yes, it was New Year's Eve. We were bored. I mean, that's how you know you're old, right? It's like, hey, we're bored on New Year's Eve. What do we want to do? Let's do a quick show. And so we recorded.
Yeah, neither one of us were busy.
No. Why would we be, right?
Yeah.
I think I was in bed for well before 10 o'clock. So on New Year's Eve.
I think I made it till 10:30.
Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't mean the same anymore. Now I watch the East Coast feed or whatever and just get it out of the way.
Ohio State was playing. That's the only reason I made it till 12.
Yeah. Yeah. That was how'd that game go?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
It went better than the championship.
Yeah, it went better than the national championship. Because that was the only reason why I remember to stay awake. I was falling asleep during that game.
Yeah. So yeah, it's good to be back. So how things been going with you, Jim?
Pretty well. Busy with work, but other than that, not much going on.
No.
Yep.
Dog training.
No, we've given up on that. We just let him do whatever the heck he wants.
Right. Yeah, there you go.
And he's in my bed right now.
That's the best method. And Jared, how was your holidays and stuff like that? What have you been doing?
They were good. Didn't really do a whole lot this year. It was just a nice, relaxing holiday off.
Right.
Didn't work the last 2 weeks of December, so that was nice being off that entire time.
Yeah. I like your hat.
Thank you. It represents my dog and something's going to happen later on.
Yeah. As you can see on the scroll there, this show is titled Animation Listeration. So our list tonight will be animated cartoons, anime, that sort of thing. So
you even went movies, didn't you, Steve?
Movies too. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it was, I've made it no secret that when it comes to animated stuff, it's not really my thing. Especially if there's been a live action version, I have hard time going back. If it started out as a cartoon and there's always been a cartoon, I'm pretty good with it. But
what if it was a cartoon and then they made a live action?
I think it depends. It depends on the nostalgia effect, you know.
So like The Lion King.
No, I've never seen the live action, so
okay.
Yeah.
Because they've been remaking a lot of animes into live
Remaking
action
anime.
as of late.
Right. Yeah, there's a whole lot of that out there right now. So, so again, we're just happy to be back here. Have you watched any good movies lately? Either of you seen anything? TV shows, movies?
Well, I've watched Black Adam. Unlike you, I wasn't the biggest fan of the movie. Found it incredibly long.
Yeah. It was just over 2 hours, right? 2 hours and 4 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, but it felt like 4. That's why I know I didn't like it.
So I know this isn't the popular opinion. God, I loved it. It's one of my favorite DC movies. Like I was telling you, I think it's probably top 5 DC movies for me. And I think it's probably because it has more of the MCU feel, and that's kind of what my thing is.
See, I didn't get that at all.
The quippy back and forth, the joking between the team, that sort of thing. Plus, I like the lore of it. I mean, I like how it ties in with Shazam. It gives you a bit of a history, but it doesn't just beat you with it. Have you seen it, Jared?
I got about halfway through it, and then I got busy with something, so I have to go back and rewatch it. I think they just started jumping out of the plane or whatever, like in the trailer. That scene, that was where I got to, and then I had to leave. So I'm gonna have to go back and give it a rewatch. I liked what I was seeing so far. Like, it was one of the better looking DC movies so far.
Yeah.
I'll say that much. It wasn't like dark and gritty like every other DC movie I've seen.
Right.
I'm with you there. I'll give you.
Said the code
I
word.
will give you that. I could see what was going on.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that about it too. I like the JSA. I like the characters. Yeah, so it was a lot of fun for me, and it was one of the better films I saw in 2022. I mean, I don't watch a lot of movies. I probably saw 5 or 6 movies all year long, like new movies. But it was definitely up there near the top or at the top for me. So
I speaking of long, I actually seen that new Avatar, Way of the Water. And it was long, but it didn't feel like it was, I don't know, what is that thing, almost 4 hours long, I think that movie is. But it didn't feel like it was almost 4 hours long. It was it was a good looking movie watching it.
Yeah.
And it might have just been because it was in theaters of why it was good looking to watch. But like part of the way through the movie, I'm like, am I just watching a better looking Moby Dick? Because that's what it felt like part of the way through the movie.
Really?
Like you're reading Moby Dick?
No, not like you're reading it. Like it literally felt like the story of Moby Dick.
It's just 4 hours.
That doesn't surprise me, since the first one was basically what, Ferngully or Dances with Wolves, or take your pick for that one.
Yeah.
But
overall, I thought the movie was great. I mean, if you like the first Avatar, I think you'll really like the second one. But you got to find 4 hours to watch it. We went and seen it at 10:30 a.m. and got out of there at like 1. So we wasted half of our day basically watching that movie.
Yeah, there's no way. I would have to watch that at home in probably 4 segments.
You'd have to Snyder cut it.
Oh my God. Yeah. So I just can't do long movies. It just drives me crazy having to sit there that long.
I like I said, if I wasn't immersed into the movie just because how beautiful it was, I'd probably been the same way. Because like Black Panther, I was the same way, because that movie was just as long, and some of it, no, the Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
Some of it was really good. Like the parts that weren't MCU-ish were really good, but when they started to force MCU into this movie, it started to lose me, and I'm just like, okay, let's wrap this up.
Yeah. Also, finally got to watch Top Gun Maverick. Really good movie. Everybody I've talked to loves it. Many people name it the best of the year. I thought it was good. I still prefer the original. I thought the mission part of Maverick was better than the mission part of the original, but the overall movie, I think the original is better.
When's the last time you watched the original?
It was a few years back, not that long ago though. I probably watch it once a year or so whenever it's on TV or something like that.
Streaming service is that going to?
It's on
Paramount, I would guess.
Yes, it's on Paramount.
Paramount?
Yeah, Paramount Plus. Yeah.
Of course, the one I don't have.
Right. Yeah, it's on there. There was some stuff with it. The tactical side of the mission part that was just silly to me. That they could have made their jobs a whole lot easier, but it was good. It was. I think I mentioned this on Twitter. I think the theater experience probably would have made it better for me. I think having people around and that nostalgia and the excitement around you at certain moments probably would have got the heart beating a little bit more. But it was still a good movie.
I heard that the sound of the planes is what like really popped in the theater too, because my neighbor was watching it in theater and then watched it again at home and said the sound was completely different, and he just could not watch it at home, but he was sucked into it at the theater.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it.
So
I believe it.
Either watch it in the theater or move next to an airport.
Pretty much.
There you go. Nice.
Time the jet scenes up for when they take off.
Yeah, no kidding.
We've been paused for, I guess if you live next to an airport, 15 seconds.
I don't know. They don't take off nearly as much as you think. I live near one. Well, you were here.
Yeah.
That's right. You guys met each other. How did that happen?
Yes.
What was
my wife's family lives in Ohio. That's where he was an hour or so away from where my wife's family lives, and I just drove down there and bought him dinner and a beer, and
good beer.
Nice.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a blueberry beer, wasn't it?
Yeah, bumbleberry honey wheat, I think it was called.
Something I would have never thought about ordering, but
Right.
Blueberries floating in it.
Or did we let the waitress pick? Did you? I think you might have picked it.
I think I picked it because that's my favorite beer.
Nice.
Yeah, so it was nice.
I've also read a bunch of stuff. I finally broke down and subscribed to Comixology. I did that while I was over Christmas because I had the computer handy and I didn't have a bunch of books around. So
as did I.
Paid for it. Downloaded a bunch of books or read a bunch of books. I started reading Once and Future. I absolutely love.
I've read the first issue of that.
Yeah, I love it. I'm a big fan of the whole Camelot thing anyway. So, yeah, really enjoy. I'm only 3 issues in, I think. So, but like in that, the Green Arrow, I think is Grell from the 80s. It's a 80s story. Love that. Didn't think I would. And then Aquaman, the New 52 stories. I've been reading that, enjoying that, loving the art with it. Nice and clear. It is what it is. It tells you what's going on.
You know what's going on.
What's going on. That's all I need from my art. Yeah. So
now, what's the difference between Comixology and the DC Infinite thing that they have out?
Well, Comixology has they have indies and stuff too. They have Marvel. But they don't have the newer stuff. Well, you can pay for newer stuff, but they have a lot of free.
Is Amazon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was looking at the DC Infinite one. I was thinking about getting it because the backlog on that is insane, and I really only read DC comics anyways anymore. I think the only Marvel one I read is the Star Wars High Republic. So I was thinking about getting that one. Now Comixology sounds pretty good too, and I'm like, I don't know which one to get now.
So Comixology is really, it's great if you want to explore stuff. The issue I run into with Comixology is you can read the first volume or something, but after that, you have to buy it.
Right.
So it's a great way to explore, and they give a free month, so like once a year. So if you just want to explore stuff and find new stuff that you want to give a shot, I recommend Comixology. Because I've thought about doing the DC too. I actually did the free trial for Marvel Unlimited, and I did not like that at all. It didn't have hardly anything I wanted to read.
It's hard to navigate.
Yeah, and I found it very difficult to navigate. So,
yeah, because I only have a Kindle, and I couldn't find the DC thing on there. So I was thinking about getting a tablet and checking the DC.
Yeah, you have to have a tablet too, and I use a Kindle for the most part. I mean, I'm on the iMac now, so I can read it on here with DC Unlimited, but I also don't want to. If I was going to get that, I'd get the Ultra tier where you get the new comics a month later.
Yeah, that's the tier I was going to get.
So, I mean, that's probably worth it, if you read enough. That's the thing. You have to discover if you read enough online or digitally to make it worth it. So,
right.
Yeah. For sure.
I just seen they released the new Green Arrow #1 that I want to start reading, but I don't want to buy the floppy for it. I just want to just read it. So that's another reason why I want to get that, read all the other backlog of Green Arrow.
So I think it comes out in March, April.
The Green Arrow one?
Yeah.
I just saw it not too long ago, but I don't also pay attention to that.
I mean, I'm just kind of getting into Green Arrow, and I've liked that run I just read. It was really good, and it's not something I would imagine I would normally read, but yeah, it was good. I really enjoyed it. He's a character I've always liked. I've just never found stories that really draw me to him. So hopefully I can get there.
He's got a bow. He's my hero.
Yeah.
Except for Hawkeye. For some reason, I don't like Hawkeye. I don't understand why. Because he's got two things I like. He's got a bow and he's purple. But I don't like Hawkeye. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's weird.
It doesn't make any sense. It could just be because he's Marvel and I'm a DC fanboy. That's the only thing I can think of.
See, do you like Kate Bishop?
I don't know enough about her unless she's the one. Is she the one from the new Hawkeye show?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I like her in the show, but
all
over.
So I like Hawkeye. I don't think Matt Fraction's run the. I suggested you read it, Steve, and you didn't care much for it, if I believe.
I made it through about the first 6 pages, and then I put it down. I'll get back to it at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. My Life as a Weapon. That's what it is.
That's what it is.
I really enjoyed that run. Hawkeye's a character that I didn't think I would like, and I really do. So, and Kate Bishop, I don't know. I mean, she's an 18-year-old girl, so
she is sassy in the comics as she was in the show.
Yes.
Then I'll like her because I like the sassiness about her.
No,
in that show.
I haven't read a lot of her, so in that it felt like they had the same type of relationship, except for they were already friends. They were already kind of together, not together. That's a weird thing to say.
See, I always thought it was their daughter. I didn't realize it was just some random fangirl, if you will. So I had no idea what the story was, but I was basing it purely off of that one scene before she disappears where he says, "At a girl Hawkeye," or something like that, when she shoots the target and then disappears in Avengers? One of the Marvel movies.
No, that would have had to be in the show.
Yeah, she wasn't in the movies.
No, it was. No, I'm thinking of his daughter, the one right before she disappeared. That scene where he calls her Hawkeye. That's where I thought where Kate Bishop was. Because I didn't know anything about her. I don't know much about Marvel outside of just the MCU and what little bit of research I've done.
Well, we don't either, and we read it. Yeah.
Well, good. I'm not alone.
But since we are on the comics here, we're going to get into a new segment we have.
It's Loster in Comics time. Loster in Comics. Who's lost? I'm lost. It's Loster in Comics.
So as part of our Loster in Comics, we have added a segment along with that, and it is called...
That must be you, because it didn't smell like that here.
Going on a jog, because we completely ripped that off from Lost in Comics, going on a run. The only difference is that we don't go quite as quick. We're just a little less intense. So we are going on a jog. What we did is we picked a book from Marvel, a book from DC, and a book from Image that we probably normally wouldn't have read. Almost certain we never would have read. And we read the first issue, and each week we're going to read the next issue as long as we can stand the books we're reading and give you guys some of our reviews. And it's been fun. I mean, we'll get into the books here in a minute, but I've enjoyed the books that we've read so far, that I've read.
Yes, I enjoyed all three that we read.
Yeah. But definitely wouldn't have ever picked them up. So the first one we're going to talk about is Invincible, Volume 1, Family Matters. So what are your thoughts on this one, Jim?
It was okay. I don't think it was fantastic. It didn't knock my socks off. Would I read issue 2? Yep. I mean, it's probably my least favorite of the three we read as far as first issues.
I would agree with that. It starts off with a character named Mark reading a comic, sitting on a toilet. That fecal matter will definitely show up during the grading process. So
it's like Chris, right?
Don't do that. It is like Chris or Adam, I believe. His dad's a superhero. He's starting to develop his own powers. But it's funny. I like how when he tells his mom that he's developing power, she's just so nonchalant about the whole thing. She's just like, "Oh, great. That's great. What do you want for breakfast?"
Mm-hmm.
Then his dad introduces him to a guy who is going to make him a suit. And then he has to figure out a superhero name. And he steps in at school to stop a bully that was picking on another kid, and gets called to the principal's office, gets told he needs to be careful because he's not invincible. Roll credits. So that's basically issue number 1. Have either of you seen the show?
I have seen the first episode of the show.
Jared?
I've seen a little bit of the show. Yeah. And that sounds a lot like the show to me.
Didn't the show open up with an attack on security at a White House or something?
I think you're right.
I think I am too, but
I can't remember. I watched it like a year ago, and I've watched so much since then that I got 4 shows in my head,
right?
Kind of like crossed up, but like just the family scene of them talking and everything nonchalant sounds like something I remember in the show.
Yeah, and I remember the dad being missing.
Right. He was, well, in the beginning in the book, he's off fighting a dragon somewhere. And they kind of mentioned
Living
that.
the dream.
Living the dream. And again, they're sitting around the house talking about, oh yeah, he's off, he's missing again. And then they see him fighting a dragon in Asia, I think somewhere. And they're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I like that part of it. I mean, the art's good enough. It's very, it reminds me of a lot of other Kirkman books. Well, Walking Dead, I guess a little bit with the art style. It's probably not the same artist, but it's the layout seems fairly similar to me, especially. But yeah, so overall,
yeah,
one I would give 3 pouches.
That's where I'm at. 3 pouches.
Now, for that book, are they the same people that did the Walking Dead comics?
Robert Kirkman. Yes.
Yeah, the writer.
Yeah.
So that explains why Glenn also does the voice for Invincible.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Glenn from The Walking Dead does
Michael
Invincible's. Yeah, he does Invincible's voice in the show.
Cool.
So next time you read the comic, I don't know if the way I read comics is I hear the voices in the head, like in my head. Like
right.
Kevin Conroy's voice will always be Batman. That's the voice I hear when I'm reading Batman. If I ever read Invincible, Glenn's voice is the voice I'm gonna hear.
Yeah, I don't even know who Glenn is, so oh
well. The Asian guy from Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You read the first 20-something issues of the book, right?
Yes, but I remember anybody's name.
Okay.
He's the only character I really liked from Walking Dead, The Walking Dead. So that's the only reason I know him.
So yeah, I thought this issue was a good first issue. I mean, it gets me interested. It's not a great story, but it's just kind of building the world a little bit and setting us in the right direction. So I'm looking forward to reading issue 2 this week. The second book from Jeff Johns, Justice Society of America. We read issue 1. And this issue is definitely an introductory issue if you don't know anything about JSA. They give you a ton of characters. I don't know how you felt about it, Jim. But they introduce you. There's Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Flash, Hourman, who at this point seems fairly similar to Dr. Manhattan, if I'm being honest. Atom Smasher, Wildcat, Black Canary, Hot Girl, Star Spangled Kid, Speed, and many others. Dr. Midnight. For a first issue, it's just too much introduction for me. Yeah.
A lot of information coming at you. Because I don't remember. I think I told you I don't remember any of the characters except for Wonder Woman. And then
but she's not even Wonder Woman now because her daughter is, right?
That's her daughter is. Yeah. So
it's not even Diana.
Yeah.
Well, it is Diana. See, I'm still confused about Wonder Woman at this point because it's Diana, but she says I'm not Wonder Woman anymore. My daughter is. So I don't know the story on that, but I'm sure we'll get there. So have you ever read any JSA stuff, Jared?
Never read JSA. Read a lot of Justice League, but not JSA. That's why I'm interested to hear how this one was, but now I don't know if I want to read it.
No, I mean, I think it's the only reason I'm familiar with it at all is from watching Stargirl on the CW because a lot of the characters in this are on the TV show. And of course, the TV show is by Jeff Johns too. So that makes sense. And it's a show I really like. So, yeah.
And I really enjoyed the comic overall.
Right.
It just, there was so many people that I don't know who any of them are. Like, I really love the beginning of that comic. The whole, whoever that was calling the, whoever that was to come and do whatever they did, you know? So, I mean, it was very good. I just don't know any of these people and I have no attachment to them. And there's just so many of them that maybe in 5 or 6 episodes, I will be able to recognize this character just by looking at him and go back and read one and be like, oh, okay. You know, so it didn't.
Yeah, I think this is a book. I think this is a book for the long haul. If you're going to get into it, I don't think it's something you can really get into right away. But it's a good introduction to me in the comics with these characters. There's some cool stuff. So,
could you pull that cover up for me one more time?
Sure, just a second here. Let me find it.
It's on Comixology.
Okay, for a second there, Atom Smasher looked like Juggernaut to me when I first looked at it. Now I had to see it again just to be sure.
Gotcha. Oh yeah, so I forgot Hot Girl. She's also in it.
Okay. Oh, it's got Old School Flash in it.
Yeah, and Old School Green Lantern. This is early age JSA.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I know the Star Spangled Girl, Hawk Girl, and Atom Smasher, and that's I know the original Flash, or was it Jay Garrett? I think.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jay Garrett, and then I don't know that Green Lantern.
Alan. I can't remember his last name now. Alan something. Yeah.
Oh, Wildcat. That's the one on the left.
Wildcat's there too. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the Alan in the Doomsday Clock.
Yes.
I can't think of his name either. Driving me crazy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, not bad, not great. I'd
probably go the same score for me.
Yeah, I would definitely. I'd definitely go 3 pouches with it. And then the third book we read was our Marvel Comics book, and it is Squirrel Girl, the unbeatable Squirrel Girl. I really, really like this story. I never would have read it in my life, and I am enjoying the heck out of it.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So it's not meant for probably our age group. It's probably meant for 9 to 16, I'm guessing.
Probably.
But the second you open that book, you know what it is. You know what it's going to do, and it does it well. I laughed more in that book.
Yeah.
Than I think I've laughed in a comic in quite a long time.
Yes.
I mean, you open it up, and the first thing they're doing is she's singing her theme song to the Spider-Man theme song.
Yep.
And then at the end,
right? And you know when you're reading it.
I mean, you can't help but sing it in the Spider-Man theme, and then the last thing is, and now you got the Spider-Man theme song stuck in your head. And
right. And they pointed out in the book. The book says now you have that theme stuck in your head.
Yeah,
I love books that break the fourth wall.
Oh yeah,
100%. It does it like 5 times.
Yeah,
the characters don't ever do it. I don't think.
I don't think she does. Just the. Go ahead.
I knew we made a good decision when in the first 4 pages it makes fun of Steve's favorite character and my favorite Marvel character.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an Ant-Man joke, bam, right off the bat.
Yeah.
It's the Spider-Man theme song, making fun of it right off the bat. And it was like, oh, we picked the right book somehow.
Yeah.
Because it's always been a character I've thought about reading and just knew nothing about, not a thing. Mm-hmm. And so we took a fly on it, and it was, I had a lot of fun reading that comic.
So it's written by Ryan North, who is now writing the new Fantastic Four book. The art, which I really enjoy too, by Erica Henderson. The book looks really good. Starts off with her singing her own theme song, as Jim mentioned. I don't know the words to it, but I should have the Spider-Man music playing in the background and then read it again, and it'll probably get ingrained in my brain. She's heading off to college, tries to act like a normal person, has to hide her tail because she is actually a Squirrel Girl. I kind of knew, but I didn't really know.
I wish we had an origin story in this.
Yeah, I don't know if this is her first book or if there's another.
No, there's stuff before this. So
okay.
Yeah, I kind of wish I knew her origin. I have to look up to that. But she's got squirrel blood in her, so
she does. So she checks into her dorm room, meets her roommate, who's kind of a broody character, and I have a feeling there's going to be more to her roommate down the road than we're seeing right now. But I don't know. Then we meet her first villain in the story, and it turns out to be Kraven, which is pretty cool. She goes toe-to-toe with Kraven in a fight, and then wonders why she's fighting him, and convinces him to go, because he's such a great hunter, to go to some island and fight some monster.
Yeah, she don't actually fight him. She convinces him to use his powers in a different, constructive way.
Right.
The power of persuasion.
Yes.
It's pretty cool.
Now this book, I think I like it. It reminds me a lot of a Spider-Man book. Like she reminds me of a Spider-Man type character. She's very quippy. She's always talking while she was fighting. She's always narrating herself in a funny way. I agree with Jim. This is for like teenage reading. The art reminds me of a Saturday morning cartoon, it's almost like a Titans Go or something like that. Is that the name of it?
Teen Titans Go, yeah.
Teen Titans Go, or kind of that kind of art is what the book reminds me of. I really enjoy it. I'm looking forward to.
I am curious how long that will hold up for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious. Like, will that run its course and be like, okay, we need something deeper or more out of this?
Right. Will it progress? So.
But yeah, as far as one issue a week, I imagine it's going to hold up quite a long time, and I'm going to laugh a lot.
So I find it odd that we picked a book from Image that's very popular, a book from DC that's fairly, well, I guess it's fairly popular by a very well-known writer, and then a book by a writer I was unfamiliar with and a character I was unfamiliar with from Marvel, and that's our favorite of these three. So, but yeah, it was fun. This is what I want. This is personally, I know there's a lot that like the dark and gritty, but this is what I like in my comic books. I don't need a story to get too deep, and I hope this one doesn't go that way.
I don't think it will.
No, I don't think so either.
So, what do you think about the next villain she's going to go up against?
Did they show?
Oh yeah, she got a call, and I believe it's Galactus.
Oh, that's right. I already forgot. Yeah, I've only read it twice in the last week, and I just forgot. It was the last page.
I read it once, and
yeah, that's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun.
Yes,
so, on a scale of one pouch to all the pouches, this one gets 4 pouches.
Right there with
4 pouches. So better than the other two. Not perfect, but really, really good. A whole lot of fun.
I mean, they were all good. I enjoyed them all.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I read JSA twice because I read it probably a week before we suggested even doing it.
When did Squirrel Girl come out?
That one was like 2016 or something, I think.
Because when I was in Chicago last year, 2 years ago for a convention, there was so many Squirrel Girl cosplays. I had no idea who she was. I had to ask somebody there who she was. He said she was Squirrel Girl. I'm like, I don't know who that is, but
he went around offering nuts.
I should have.
And she has the proportional strength of a squirrel. So just as with Ant-Man or Spider-Man.
So is she just like a mutant, or is she just could she be an X-Men, or?
It doesn't really say. I don't think she's a mutant.
She was hiding out in the Avengers attic, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
she's a squirrel.
They didn't know she was living there. Yeah, she was squirrel.
And she has a squirrel that her partner, her companion, is a squirrel that she talks to. I don't know.
It better be a nut pun. That's all I know.
I don't think it is.
Ah.
Now I got to look real quick. Hopefully I don't close the wrong window here and shut you guys out.
Oh, we'll still be here.
Girls.
But yeah, I had no idea who that character was. I thought maybe like they did a show about it or something, but I couldn't find no show on it, only comics, and I was like,
yeah, those are all the things that I've thought as well.
Tippy Toe is a squirrel.
I kind of like that name better than it's not a pun, but I like the name.
Yeah, it's cool.
So yeah, I mean, you know what? That's a recommend if you just want a fun read. Especially the Spider-Man theme song part. I really enjoyed that.
It sounds like a fun book.
It was. It was.
So yeah, this is a segment we're going to keep with. If we end up dropping a book down the road, we'll go ahead and add another book in there. But hope you guys will follow along to see where we're at with this. So that was
read along. Yeah,
read along. There you go. Yeah, sure. So you know what we're talking about.
I might read that Squirrel Girl.
Yeah, give it a chance, man.
I recommend it.
That was our going on a jog segment of our Lost Her in Comics segment. Right? I know.
I'm already tired.
I probably should have played the Lost in Comics thing before we started talking about all those other comics, but format.
Oh, yes. Wow.
And that leads us into you show me yours and I'll show you mine. So what do you got for us, Jared? Let's see what you have to show us.
I got 4 things, but 3 of them are kind of combined into one.
Let's do it.
Constructicons. Unite.
Kind of. Well, last time Jim was here, I only had 1 of these, but now I have the full collection of these swords, which is from an anime called One Piece. My favorite character in that show has all his swords. I now have the full collection of them. Originally, he only had 3 of them, but recently in the show, they gave him a 4th one, so I had to go out and get it, and which is this purple one, which is now my new favorite one.
Nice.
I really like the sword with like this. I don't know if you can see it, the green flames that it has on it.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's a really nice looking sword.
What did you take a picture with? Lightsabers?
I think you had the lightsaber, and I had the 4th sword of that collection,
gotcha.
Which was the black one, the black and red one. And then the other item I have is I've recently started collecting Pokemon cards, and there was a set of Pokemon cards that came out last year, November of last year, called Silver Tempest, and there's a card in there that is, I think, of 2022, it's the 2nd highest valued card that came out. Well, I ended up actually pulling it. And the funny story behind pulling this card is I never bought what's called a booster box of cards, which is 36 packs in a box. Never bought one before. Now that I have adult money, I decided to buy one. So I bought one, and my buddy that was with me, he went with me, and I was like, pick out a box, I'll open it. He picked out a box. We brought it back to my house. First pack I opened had that card in it. So first pack, first box with my buddy, and I'm just like, holy crap! And on top of that, it's one of my favorite Pokemon ever.
Nice. Very nice.
Nice. That's awesome. Love it. Yeah, I was never into Pokemon. I think I was kind of a generation just kind of like halfway in front of that one.
Same. Well, obviously the same. I'm older than you.
Yeah, you are. You're very old. You're like a year older than me at least.
Man, you're catching up. What's today's date?
Well, this will air on Wednesday.
You got 6 days.
This comes out on Wednesday. This comes out on Wednesday, right? So I'll have 1 day, I think, and then I'll be the same age as you. So,
yeah. Happy early birthday!
Hey, thank you,
old man.
Old man. Yeah.
We actually almost did this podcast on my birthday last month. Originally, it was supposed to be on my birthday.
Oh, that's right. And that stuff ended up getting. Man, it was such a busy time. That's why we did our Christmas show in like October or something, if I remember right.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we're aiming for the 4th of July this year.
4th of July. Whenever Walmart puts the Christmas stuff out is when we do our show.
Oh, so next week.
Yeah.
Hobby.
Exactly. Nice. I like it. So what do you got, Jim?
I have, since we're going to animator, I'll go with something that's probably on my list. Transformer. I'm going with, this is Gigawatt, the DeLorean, transforms into the DeLorean from Back to the Future.
Dang.
Pick this
That's
up.
awesome.
And
More
I
than
don't transform them because I break them because I'm old and kind of like video games. Once you reach a certain age, you can't do stuff like that.
That's right.
Is that like a hook staff that he has, or
it's it's what goes on the back of the car to the clock tower.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
the lightning rod.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, and
That's cool.
I just throw it in his hand. So
Love it. Well, I don't have any anime stuff, but I did get a few things for Christmas from my son. This is the TMNT Cobra Kai.
I was hoping you'd have them posed in positions.
This is Leo and Miguel Diaz. And then I have Johnny and Donnie.
That's too
perfect.
cute. That's too cute. They shouldn't have had them together.
And Kreese and Raph. So I do not have Mikey and Daniel. I still have to get that one.
So you're gonna get another Mikey for your house.
That'll be my first one.
Yeah, okay.
It'll be my first one.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. You're not coming back.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, I've got that one too.
I said you didn't have another Mikey.
How much did Jim pay you to say that? Huh?
We set this up.
Yeah. Right.
Fun.
Nice. I like it. So cool stuff. That was some really. I got some other Ninja Turtle stuff. I got the Revenge of Shredder video game. I was talking to you about that. I went through the whole training period of the 17 moves that you can do and practiced them, and then got to the game, and it was just button mashing. That's all I can do. I can't do any combos or nothing. And luckily on easy, all you have to do is hit the X over and over, and you're going to win. So
is that the new one that just came out?
It's a remake of the original one. Yeah. Of the arcade one. Yeah. It's a pretty fun game.
I thought about getting it for the Switch just so I can have something portable to play, and it looked fun.
It is. It's cool. And I think you can, if you're online, you can team up with other players to play with you. So
now here's my question. Cool. Is it like the original where Donatello is the best character?
He's the only one I've played, and he's the only one I will play. So yes.
That's all I needed to hear. He was the best character because he had the longest range. So
that's it. The most staff just.
However, when you kill them all, the only one that's left is Michelangelo.
Fair.
That's pretty funny stuff.
The lone survivor.
What makes that laugh even better? What makes it laugh even better is that it took me 2 minutes to get to it. So,
especially when we all laughed at the beginning,
I know.
You got to have just like a soundboard with a button you can just push.
You can actually on StreamYard, I think you can assign hotkeys to it. But as I talked about the button mashing with the games, the hotkeys would be just the same on here. So
yeah.
Just need a numpad, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah. So that was.
Oh yes. Wow.
You show me yours, and I'll show you mine.
No matter how many times I hear it, that voice every time.
I love it.
Okay, so that's going to take us into our next segment. Where the heck are you? Here we go. News and rumors. So last night was the. There you go. Wrong button.
Those damn hotkeys.
Them button mashing.
There you go. Last night was the LNC 2022 awards show, and man, it was a great show. A lot of fun. Some really fantastic guests that Chris and David had on. Guests from all over the world, including Cape Cod.
Heard it was a rager.
Man, it was good. It was good. So from Cape Cod, we had Carl Mostert was there. So many great names. We had John Leese was there, and he had his
puppy
Oscar right there. So we found a replacement for the original Oscar, and I like this one. He was pretty good. So. Yeah, but there they were. They're looking sharp. David threw on his dance moves and was very impressive. But man, that show is just really good, really good. So if you don't watch any other shows of theirs, which you should, check out the award show. Jeremy Adams,
Rudder Flash.
Man, yeah, he talked about he's just hilarious. Like if you know how they say that you start resembling your dogs, well, I think he starts resembling his characters, or the other way around, because he seems like a very high speed kind of kind of guy, really cool kind of guy you'd want to hang out with. Just a lot of fun. So they did a great job with that. PKJ, Philip Kennedy Johnson, announces that he will have an announcement. So we have an announcement from Philip Kennedy Johnson that in about a month he will have an announcement. Another announcement that somebody else will have a big announcement soon. We don't know who or where or what, but as soon as they break the news, we will break the news that it has been announced and tell you where you can hear all about it.
We suggest watching another channel to find it out.
Yes. So
keep your
take
eyes
a look
on Twitter.
at some other channels, watch Twitter, some big announcements going on. All right. So there was a little incident that we'll get into, but we do have a segment here, and we have some pretty strong feelings about this. This is the Poach the Pouch segment. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to get David from Lost in Comics, to come our way because we feel like we can offer him more, a speaking role. Let him talk about like Rob Liefeld, gun hunting, that sort of thing. But there was a little problem that happened with the show last night that somebody here feels pretty bad about. And so I'm going to go ahead and play this, and hopefully this will take care of any hard feelings we have and bring him in a little bit.
Hi, Grabs Granite with Midlife Vices. It has come to my attention that I said some insensitive things about a member of our community, and I would like to take this time to apologize. Pouch, David Vargas, I am sorry for saying that I would like to punch you in the pecker. It's out of my nature. I was drinking. I got some bad news. And I hope you accept my apology. Like probably 100% of the population, I don't want to be anywhere near your pecker. So please accept this heartfelt apology. And I hope we can continue our friendship. Yeah, I covered it. Have a good day.
All right. So, man, that was heartfelt there, Jim. That was,
yeah.
You're definitely the bigger man there. Thanks for taking that approach.
In more ways than one.
Yeah. So, David Pouch, if you're out there, you're looking for a new place to hang out. You're looking for maybe a little more respect. We'll take that. Yeah, we'll take that tape off your mouth. We'll let you be you. So this until you're here, until you are here, we are going to be trying to poach the Pouch. Oh man, that just hits me right in the feels.
Yeah,
right in the feels. I don't know. I mean,
better than getting
really.
Hacker.
Very emotional.
Was it positive or negative? I don't know what that means.
I don't know if that was a COVID test or a pregnancy test. I'm not sure. I should have stopped it after the second.
Oh, I liked it. That's where it needs to end.
The last slide.
That's right. All right. So moving right along here.
You have a mail message.
It is time for our viewer mail. And again, we want to thank you all for writing in. Sometimes we get questions. Sometimes we just get great pieces of advice from our viewers. First one we have here, Eric from South Park wrote in. He said, I've learned something. Selling out is sweet because when you sell out, you get to make a lot of money. And when you have money, you don't have to hang out with a bunch of poor losers like you guys. Screw you guys. I'm going home. Wow. So I don't know. Eric's kind of in a mood there, but I mean, the facts are right. I mean, you don't have to hang out with losers when you're rich. So You can buy all the losers you want. Thanks, Eric, for your letter. Second, we have Peter from Quahog. He said, I have an idea so smart that my head would explode if I even began to know what I was talking about. I have been there. Recently on this show, even tonight. Like if I knew what I was talking about, definitely. Thank you, Peter from Quahog. Grandpa from Springfield. He wrote in, he said, I used to be with it, but then they changed what it was. Now what I'm with isn't it anymore, and what it is seems weird and scary. It'll happen to you too. That's some great advice, Grandpa. It's always good to get that piece of wisdom as we go forward, as we age, to know that you're not on your own.
Generation.
That's right. That's right. So thank you all for that.
You have a mail message.
Again, feel free to write in, send us your mail, questions, comments. What's that?
I look at her every time.
Nice. And that's going to take us into our top 10 list. And tonight's list we mentioned is our top 10 animated movies, shows, cartoons, anime, whatever you may have. And we are going to start with Jared at
number 10.
All right.
Number 10.
There we go.
So is it number 10 or is it number 20?
Number 10.
I don't know if you and all your honorable mentions.
Do got a lot of them. My number 10 is one I've actually just finished up last year. It's called Jujutsu Kaisen. It is basically, if you want to watch an anime that is nothing but fighting and throwing hands, this is the anime you want to watch. This anime makes Dragon Ball Z look like child's play with how much.
Oh, sorry.
With how much fighting there is. Well, no, I love Dragon Ball Z. I mean, I'm repping a Dragon Ball Z shirt right now.
Yeah.
But there's just literally every episode there's something going on with fighting. Even the episodes where it's like plot development, there's a fight happening. I don't know what it is about this show. It could be the animation.
It's like The Empire Strikes Back.
Pretty much. It was a great anime. It's
nice.
Literally throw hands the anime.
Is it on Netflix or?
I have the Crunchyroll app, which is where you can pretty much watch any anime.
Gotcha.
on Crunchyroll. And if you don't get the premium one, you can still watch it, but you got ads, so it's like free Hulu.
Gotcha. Okay. Nice. So what's that called again?
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yep.
Nice.
JJK is what the kids call it.
All right. Jim, what do you got for number 10?
After that, I feel ridiculous. My number 10 is Muppet Babies.
Oh, nice.
No, I mean, not just
that was
the
a good
normal
show,
movies, but the ones where they're fighting in every episode. And of course, I'm joking there. So I love this show when I was a young kid, and then they seem to make a new one for each generation. My boys are watching one right now, and it's fantastic too. Of course, Animal's always my favorite.
Oh yeah, he's great.
And then I know people don't like Beeper, but I like Beeper. So,
is he the assistant to the scientist? Beeper?
Yes. I don't remember what the scientist's name is, but
I just remember the guy that goes mink, mink, mink.
Yeah.
He went beep.
Yeah.
No. Beeper went beep. The other guy, I don't know what I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
I always thought his name was Beaker.
It probably is.
Okay.
It could be Beaker.
Yeah, it's
outside of Kermit and Miss Piggy and the dude that plays the drums. I don't know much about Muppets.
Foggy.
Waka Waka.
Yeah.
Oh wait, isn't there an Italian chef too?
There is. The Swedish chef.
Grover.
And he is fantastic. The Swedish chef. I need to get the Swedish chef T-shirt because it's great.
Yeah. So it's been a long time since I've actually watched this show, obviously. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I would go. I would go that. And now thinking about it, I have watched one anime, but only one season, and that would be Sword Art Online. We've talked about it before.
It's a good one.
And I really enjoyed the first season.
You can't have 2 number 10s.
You put it up twice.
He did.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp. You can't triple stamp a double
stamp. You only got 9. Let me help you out.
Here you go. He gave you Muppet Babies. He'll take Sword Art.
Yeah, my number 10. No, my number 10 is He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. This was
my number 4.
Your number 4. Wow. Nice. So I won't say too much about it.
No, go ahead.
I love.
I don't know anyone's naming that either.
I love stuff with. I love stuff with swords. I love. I love the power up portion of all these cartoons that I enjoy, and Adam just going from this cheesy prince to a big old buff guy with a sword that saves everybody is pretty awesome. I don't even remember the name. It's been years since I watched this too. The name of his tiger that he rides or whatever, it's Sabretooth or
Battle Cat, right?
Yeah, that's right. There you go.
I can't remember what his name is before he changes.
And then Skeletor and
I've actually thought about collecting Skeletor, kind of like I do Cobra Commander.
Right.
It's just I won't. It was right in my age group, and then right when I was moving past that, they came out with the whole She-Ra thing, and
I never really got
it. The character was always the guy with had a little spring in the step, the battle ram guy.
Yeah,
I enjoyed him for some reason.
Yeah, a lot of cool characters. And a buddy of mine had all the figures too. So
yeah, I had quite a bit of them. Most of my stuff is based off toys I've owned.
Yeah,
most of it anyway.
Now, my stuff was all Hot Wheels. I never really had the action figures and stuff, but I was neglected so bad.
Well, I mean, your mom don't watch. Mine does.
No, she doesn't. So I can talk bad about her. Nice. All right. So number 10, He-Man Masters. Is that something you ever watched, Jared?
My only real experience with it is the memes they make about Skeletor online.
Right.
Which there is about 1 million of them. But
yeah,
I've seen maybe like an episode or two just to know what Masters of the Universe is. But
yeah,
that I don't have a whole lot of experience with that show. It looks
fun. The movie's pretty cool too. It's bad, but it's pretty cool.
Haven't they been trying to make a live action movie of that?
Yeah.
Well, there is one. Yeah. There is one, but they're trying to redo it. Yeah, they're trying.
Dolph Lundgren.
Yeah. Okay. Dolph Lundgren playing He-Man is pretty cool. So, all right. So that is number 10. Now we are at
number 9.
Or number 9.
So
it didn't show up the first time on my screen, Jim. That's why I hit it twice.
I mean, technically, I got 2 number 9s, but they're the same thing.
You can't have 2 number 9s.
It's Justice League / Justice League Unlimited. I like them both. I don't know which one I like more.
Oh.
I like Unlimited because Green Arrow is in it, but I really like Justice League, the animated series, however you want to call it. But that one where it had Jon Stewart as Green Lantern, that Martian Manhunter.
Yep.
That was basically my introduction to all of the other characters in DC that wasn't Batman, Superman, and the Flash.
Right.
So
Justice League Unlimited has one of the best Booster Gold stories of all time.
That was actually that's the only reason I know who Booster Gold is because of Justice League Unlimited.
It's the best episode in Justice League Unlimited, in my opinion.
I haven't watched them all, but yeah, I love that episode. Me and the boys watch it once every 2 or 3 months.
So this is my number 2. Justice League Unlimited is my number 2. So
good taste.
It's so good. It's and like you said, you get introduced to just a ton of characters. They focus on each of the characters in different episodes in a very good way, where you're able to actually learn about the characters. Yeah, it's done really well, really well. So.
Yeah, and so I've never seen the other one, not Unlimited, but the Justice League of America. Or I probably have, but
it's just the first one. It just has the first 6. It has just Manhunter, Flash, Wonder Woman, Hawk Girl, Batman, Superman, and Green Lantern.
Yeah, the
That's
first
it.
7.
Yeah. Yeah, the original
Founders.
7 or whatever it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay. My number 9 is Inspector Gadget.
Oh, that's such a good show.
So this is also my number 9.
Wow. Has that ever happened before where you got the same show on the same number?
It is when he only had 9 and we need to fill the 1 in somewhere. I know it's happened twice so far on our show.
I must have missed one of them.
No, it's this was just an enjoyable show. Even now, I can sit down and watch the show with the boys. I haven't tried watching the movie. I should watch the movie with the boys.
Movie's
That
pretty
theme
fun.
song.
Yeah.
That theme song I can't ever get out of my head when I hear it.
Oh, when I had a buddy that played baritone sax, and he would play that all the time. It was pretty fun. It's who I think once a year I'll still say go gadget something that I need, you know.
Yeah.
It's great. The Claw, you know, never seen his face. I think that was the first. I think he predate Vera from Cheers? Never seen his face.
Never seen the face.
Yeah. And then
I couldn't tell
his
you.
cat, that obviously the International Man of Mystery stole.
Uh-huh.
Just a good cartoon. Penny and the Brain, right?
Mm-hmm.
They actually did all the legwork and all the work, and Inspector Gadget just kind of goofballed his way through everything.
Yep.
Kind of like the Get Smarter cartoons.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Very good.
It's great. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I am going to claim that as my number 9 as well. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Inspector Gadget. Actually, you know what? I'm not. I'm going to go with Captain Caveman because Captain Caveman and Son is great. I like that the son is never allowed to be who he wants to be, even though he's probably a little more capable than his dad is. He's
I've
kind of
never
the buffoon.
heard of this.
No?
No.
You never heard of Captain Caveman or Captain Caveman and Son?
Either one.
Captain
Really?
Caveman.
He looked like Cousin It, basically. Well, he was a caveman. He was a short little caveman, and he would do
Flintstones?
Well, he was a Hanna-Barbera. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You can see him on Boomerang, I think.
Definitely. Yeah, he's a fun character. So I'm going to go with that for number 9.
Okay.
And you can't stop me.
I wouldn't want to.
So that takes us
Number 8.
Number 8.
My number 8 is another recency biased one. I just finished this year. It's Young Justice.
Ooh,
Nice. I haven't seen it.
I like Teen Titans, so I decided to give this one a watch. And I remember watching like some of the episodes on like Cartoon Network or something when I was living in my parents' house. But watching them there, it's like one of the few shows that actually you have to watch the episodes in episodic order, because if you don't, you're going to miss something, some kind of key detail. So I don't know what it was about the show that sucked me in, but the characters in that show are absolutely phenomenal. And every season is a time skip. Season 1 to season 2, Robin becomes Nightwing. I think Superboy stays Superboy, but him and Superman become friends for whatever reason. But there's one episode in season 1 where the Young Justice people fight the Justice League. Such a great episode.
Why?
Justice League ends up getting taken over by like the Legion of Doom or something like that. Okay. I don't want to spoil what happens, but throughout the season, but something happens with the Legion of Doom.
We don't want Steve to take it.
But it's a great episode, and just watching the Young Justice fight the Justice League and them knowing the Justice League weaknesses really comes into handy. But it was a great episode, probably my favorite of them, and it was the earliest episode of them all.
Nice.
I think I've seen maybe 1 or 2 episodes of that.
Is that on HBO Max?
Yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
All 4 seasons are on there, and they left the 4th season as a cliffhanger where they could go to a season 5, but I think when I was talking to Carlos, I don't think they're making a season 5. Which sucks, but.
All right, Jim, what do you got? Number 8.
My number 8 is a newer cartoon. Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius.
Now you're talking to my childhood.
Yeah. So these I watched with my daughter's brother, who's in his mid-20s now. So he anyway. I don't know this cartoon the best. I can't even say I've seen every episode, but I know every episode I've seen I've enjoyed, and it makes me laugh. So Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius, who has a robot dog.
Goddard.
Yeah, that's really all I have for this, because it's, like I said, I don't know the series the best. I just know it made me laugh every time I watched it.
Sheen is my spirit animal. He's obsessed with the superhero, and like that's his favorite thing ever. And he's obsessed with this character. Like he carries an action figure, brings it in for show and tell every single time. Reads the comics, plays the games. That character was my character.
Who's his best friend? One of his friends that's
the red-haired guy, Carl.
No, there was another one that was kind of dumb. The black-haired.
That was Sheen.
That's when you're talking.
Yeah, with the blue shirt and the action figure.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
There you go, Jim.
I don't remember.
He just said that's my spirit animal. You're like, who's the one that was kind of dumb?
Oh, he is dumb. He's dumb as hell.
Oh yeah, no, it's. I mean, there's no hiding it.
And especially like if you look at him compared to Jimmy Neutron, like Jimmy Neutron is absolutely insanely smart in that show compared to everybody else. Like I think her name is Cindy. There's a blonde-haired girl in the show that's kind of as smart as him, but.
So from now on, I'm just going to say my shows and let you talk about them since you know them.
I pretty much could. I've watched a lot of cartoons.
Yeah. No, his friend is the one that always made me laugh. You know,
he's a great character.
It's a good movie. They have a good movie. So.
Mm-hmm. Now, was that the movie with
Jimmy Neutron, Boy Genius?
Well, yeah, that one. Well, they did a crossover movie with the Fairly Odd Parents also.
Oh, I have not seen that, and you're getting ahead of me here.
Oh well, I'm out.
Cosmo and Wanda.
All right, so my number 8 is Dungeons and Dragons. So this was a late 80s cartoon, and it's this group of kids that go to an amusement park, and they get sucked into a world that is a Dungeons and Dragons world. So you have your dungeon master, and you have a wizard, and you have a bunch of different characters, and they're basically trying to escape and make their way out of this world, and they all end up with these different powers. I can't even remember all the characters. I just remember every Saturday morning I had to be up to watch this show by like 6:30. So just a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
So I remember the show existing. I don't think I ever watched it. But right now, this reminds me of an ongoing comic right now called Die. Have you
heard of it?
Check it out. That's exactly what happens. They get sucked into their RPG game, and it's anyway. It's cool. I've only read like the first 2 or 3 issues, and it's pretty good. It's just not something I just decided I was going to read. So,
right.
Yeah, if you like that, 30 years ago, you might enjoy that comic now.
I might.
I didn't even know they made a Dungeons and Dragons cartoon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They also made a Dragon Slayer cartoon that was pretty cool, and it actually did the where he would come to I think his name was Dirk. Yeah, that was a hero, and he would come to a point where he had to make a decision, and they would show what would happen if he did choice A and what he did if he did choice B. And the first one he always died, but luckily he always chose choice B. So it was pretty cool,
especially if he knew what was going to happen.
Yeah,
that plot armor.
So that was my number 8.
Number 7.
My number 7 is Avatar: The Last Airbender.
I thought you were going to go on talking about a 4-hour movie.
I could. But Avatar: The Last Airbender actually could potentially be probably one of my number one shows. It's probably one of the few shows on this list that I would go back and rewatch all 3 seasons every time it's on. But it's one of the few shows that actually gets battled over, is it an anime or is it a cartoon? Because it's American made, but it's basically like an anime format. So it's literally getting fought over in the anime community over, is it an anime or is it a cartoon?
Well, our stance here on Midlife Vices is that we are against cultural appropriation. So
they're throwing fists like Muppet Babies?
Yeah, pretty much. They are throwing fists like Muppet Babies.
That's going to be my new favorite thing to say.
Jim, I just want you to know that there's going to be a GIF of you tomorrow doing this on camera.
So I have a story that will embarrass the heck out of my wife. So my wife and her sister talk on some video chat thing, and whenever you send it, you see the first couple seconds and it just repeats it. So she sent her sister a video, and then on her phone for the next 3 days was a video of her. I was dying. It was so funny. It just looked very wrong. And, oh my gosh, it was funny.
Oh, sorry. Continue with your number 7 choice there.
Yeah, I hope she don't watch this.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, it's basically fought over in the community of, is it an anime or is it a cartoon? But what it's about is, basically like the 4 elements: earth, water, air, and fire. Everybody has these powers. They're called benders, and they're able to control one of those elements. Well, not everybody, because there's some people that aren't benders. But there's one.
Not on a bender.
No, but there's one person in the world at any given time that is called the Avatar, and he can control all 4 elements at one time. And he's supposed to have the balance, bring balance to the world or whatever. Basically, he disappears, and he disappears for 100 years. No one knows where the Avatar went, and then one day the Fire Nation attacks and basically takes over the world. Everyone's afraid of the Fire Nation because they're basically trying to take over the world.
So water wouldn't
you would
that threat?
You would think, but there is one water tribe that is strong enough to attack the fire, or to defend themselves against the Fire Nation, which they don't really, which is why the Fire Nation doesn't really go up near that water tribe. But it's in the North Pole, and they take over the South Pole. So, but it's a really good show to watch if you watch it, and it doesn't take itself too serious, but it does have some serious moments, and it's just the powers of people controlling the elements is just so, it's so great.
That's cool.
Okay.
Nice. All right, Jim, what do you got for us?
Okay, I got another one that
I spoiled.
Dare to know more than me. I blanked on your name. I was like, that guy.
It's on the screen.
Oh, I know that. I had to look. I just completely lost my mind. Number 7, Johnny Bravo.
Oh, man. I like that.
So, yeah, I've probably only seen like 3 episodes of this show, and I'm not even joking. And it's never, but he makes me laugh so hard. Just everything, like, he's above Elvis. I don't know. He just makes me laugh.
He's a character that would not make it in today's culture.
No.
Yeah. Either with me and Steve.
So I worked with a guy, and we called him Johnny Bravo because he was the typical, the guy that when you go out to a club, he's hitting on everybody, and just, he's God's gift to everybody. And he was very proud of the fact, and he never questioned himself at all about anything. And he was Johnny Bravo the whole time we knew him. So
yeah, it just makes me laugh. And yeah, I don't think I've seen an episode in 15, 20 years. And I just have such fond memories of him making me laugh.
Oh yeah.
He's number 7.
Good stuff.
I can remember just doing the monkey, just that.
And there is tomorrow's new gift.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll take it.
That clip will be on tomorrow.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
I want to be the meme.
That's right. All right. My number 7, Scooby-Doo.
This is a great one.
That's a classic right there.
Yeah.
I can't believe I didn't think of any of these classic kind of.
So we watched, this was something I watched, and every episode was exactly the same. It didn't matter. The van, the haunted house, the unmasking the guy with the mustache, the innkeeper or whatever it happened to be.
The mystery machine.
Mr. Machine, Scooby getting his snacks. The best part was always when they were doing the chase scene and they would run in this door and out the other door, and they were chasing the ghost and the ghost was chasing them, and there was never any.
Globetrotters.
Every episode is identical, but it was just so much fun.
I loved the Globetrotters episodes.
Oh, they were great. Yeah,
loved them.
They were great. And there's actually an episode, I don't know if either of you ever watched. Well, Jim, I'm sure you haven't. Supernatural. They do an animated. They do an animated episode where they get crossed over into the Scooby-Doo world, and it's just great too. So yeah, Scooby-Doo is my number, and the theme song's great too. Scooby-Doo, my number 7.
Very nice.
That takes us to
number 6.
Number 6.
My number 6 is actually who the hat is based off of, and that anime is called Cowboy Bebop, which is these characters right there. That's Spike. That's Faye. Jet, and the corgi's name is Ein.
So that's on Netflix, right? I think it's on.
It might be. I think that one actually. They actually just remade, or they live actioned Cowboy Bebop on Netflix.
Right. Yeah, it's on there. And before you go any further, just let me say how out of the loop I am. I could have swore that was Pikachu you were wearing on your head. So
I said the same thing.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I got Eevee, which is another popular Pokemon. Which it's kind of what Eevee. I think Eevee is based off a corgi, kind of, unlike that one right there. That's also that's a Pokemon right there based off a corgi. But yeah, it's basically anime based off of bounty hunters that are just trying to make it in space. Can't really say too much without giving too much away, but
right.
But that character basically has no memory of her past life, and she slowly gets it back throughout the show.
It's almost Firefly.
Yeah, except it got more than one season.
I would trade him in a heartbeat. I'm just
Oh.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my number 6.
Nice. My number 6 is The Fairly Odd Parents. I really enjoy this show. Cosmo is one of the funniest. He reminds me of the character on Jimmy Neutron that I can't remember the name of, that you do. He's just, plays that dumb humor, and it just works for me. It makes me laugh every time. And then Timmy and the babysitter, and it's fun. I want more of this show every time I watch it.
Did you watch the later episodes when they brought the baby fairy into it?
Because I was just kidding when I said I wanted more.
Okay, I was curious because you didn't mention Poof, which is their baby.
Again, this was a show I watched with my ex-wife's son, so I don't know a whole lot about it except for
me and Jim probably should have done top 5 lists. When we started this show, because we never have 10 that we actually really love. So top 5 would have been great, but then we would have been the same as Gathering of the Geeks, and we're twice as good. So
there you go.
We go with 10.
But yeah, it's a great
So you're
show.
done there, Jim, or?
Yep.
All right.
I know.
That's Fairly Odd Parents. So would you recommend watching that? I mean, it's on your list. You don't seem to know much about it, but would you recommend
Fairly
watching
Odd Parents? Yeah, I definitely recommend watching that. It's funny.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Great show.
Yeah, having 2 genies basically that can do your bidding as a kid, and
cool.
And then showing all the bad stuff that could happen if you give a kid what he wants. Yeah, it's a good show. I've watched a lot of it, believe it or not, I just
it's one of those shows that if it's on the TV and I walk in there, I'm sucked into it every time.
It will make you laugh out loud. It's funny. For
check it out.
Show, it's very funny.
Mm-hmm.
So my number 6 is Roadrunner. So again, back to Saturday morning cartoons here. Coyote and Roadrunner. Just the fact that the coyote could never catch him, no matter how hard he tried. The Acme tools that he used to try and catch him. The fact that the coyote ran into the mountainside every time when the train tunnel was painted on there. Meat, all of it. Just love it. Such a fun. When you would watch,
he went off the cliff and almost made it back every time.
Almost, yes, absolutely. And on those Saturday morning cartoons, they on this one they would mix in different cartoons throughout the hour or the half hour, or whatever. And this was the one that I was always waiting for with it. So definitely Roadrunner.
I like Speedy Gonzales.
Speedy Gonzales was great too. Yes.
Tasmanian.
And what's funny is coyotes are actually faster than roadrunners, but
yeah, they want to stand a chance.
Science. There we go. All right, that takes us to
number 5.
Number 5.
My number 5 is Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I don't know what much more to say about this. I don't really like the Jedi portion of Star Wars really at all. But
that's interesting with this.
I know. This I really like Ahsoka. She is one of the few Jedis I actually really like, and I really like the clone army fighting in this.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great show overall. It started off very slow. And that first season was hard to watch, and I went back and just rewatched it when they brought the new season out.
Mm-hmm.
Was it last year?
The Bad Batch?
No, not the Bad Batch. They brought season 7, I think, out last year of the Clone Wars. The last season they brought out because there was like a war on Mandalore, and you bring in the Mandalorians, I'm there for it. That's that's my favorite part of Star Wars. But so I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and rewatch the Clone Wars. I forgot how hard it was to rewatch that first season. That first season was hard to watch, but when you get past that first season, it's a great show.
Maybe I'm just gonna have to skip the first season because I've never made it all the way through the first season.
Yeah, it's a hard season to watch.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So this is an example of one of those shows that I've tried to watch that. I've tried to watch Rebels. I've tried to watch the other animated Star Wars stuff, and I can't get into it because it's not the live action version. So this is an example of that for me. That works well. So none of the animated Star Wars stuff works for me.
I know. So I was really excited, like season 2 of Rebels when they were bringing in Thrawn, who was one of my favorite. I at one point I owned probably 90% of the extended universe and the books before Disney bought them, and that's a lot of books. And so I was a big Thrawn guy. I absolutely loved the character, and I was so excited they're bringing it in. Never watched it. Just never.
Just never got around to it, or just couldn't get into it.
I don't know. I don't know why. I just can't get excited about the animated Star Wars shows, and probably because of the first season of Clone Wars. If you're saying it's that hard, that's the only one I've actually really tried to watch. I have watched some of the first season of Rebels, but not too much.
So Rebels is pretty good. Bad Batch, I'm really enjoying it. I haven't started the second season yet, but I really enjoyed the Bad Batch.
Mm-hmm.
Clone Wars, the 7th season of Clone Wars was probably some of the best Star Wars animation or animated stuff I've ever seen.
Cool.
Yeah, I might have to try it again. I mean, and I'm hoping my boys will love this stuff, and then they'd want to watch it, and then I'll just sit down and
watch it by proxy.
Watch it, yeah.
Nice. All right, Jim, number 5.
Okay, number 5. Now we're getting into more our era cartoons. Voltron, Defender of the Universe, which again can't tell you a whole lot about this because I haven't watched it since I was 12. But I remember all the lions running through their element: fire, lava, water, And why didn't they just start the show as Voltron? Because they always had to get there anyway. But it was just. I remember I owned the toy, and he came with this giant sword, and it was just fun. It's the closest to Transformers without being Transformers.
Yeah, it was very similar to Transformers. They all combined into one, right? Like one giant robot.
Robot Voltron.
Yeah, right. I don't think I ever really watched it. I saw the intro a bunch of times, but I don't know why I didn't.
There's a couple TV shows kind of like the cartoon was for me, where my favorite part was when they all went to their vehicles and they were coming out to fight. It was that
right.
Like Mask.
Yeah.
They kind of like that.
Power Rangers. That's how Power Rangers was too. They got in those vehicles, they tried to fight, and then they just combined into whatever Megazord.
Yeah, I mean, well, that's kind of what happens when you combine stuff.
Yeah.
We can get to it whenever we get to Transformers as well. But anyway, so Voltron. I remember I used to love the show. I would wake up to watch it. I was awake when I watched it. Believe it or not.
I like being awake when I watch TV.
Yeah.
I like sleeping actually better.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't sleep with the TV on.
Oh, I sleep great with TV on.
Yeah. Maybe we're just not watching the right shows, Jim. We may have an issue. Yeah. Every time I turn on TV, I fall asleep.
Thank goodness we started the new specific show we have.
That's right. Good thing we talk about TV shows.
I just needed more sleeping material.
Fantastic. All right. My number 5, Wacky Races, another Hanna-Barbera show. This is where Captain Caveman actually got to start. And then you had Penelope Pit Stop. You had, was Grape Ape on it? There was a bunch of different Hanna-Barbera characters.
Jared, who else was on the show?
I don't remember that. This is just how I remember who Captain Caveman is this show.
Right. So when it was a cross-country race, it was basically Cannonball Run, but for Hanna-Barbera characters. And you had Dastardly, you had Smedley and was the dog.
Yeah, the dog.
And we got one that laughed like that. He was the bad guy, the villain in the show. Just a bunch of different. And it was actually I was reading up on it the other day because I couldn't quite remember how it went. And I never realized at the time, but it was actually 34 episodes, and each episode was a different stage of the race. I thought at the time I just assumed every episode was its own race, but it was a cross-country 34 episode race that was pretty cool. So I loved it. I loved all the characters. I loved the it was basically a big pod race, but for the Hanna-Barbera characters. So that was my number 5.
You had me at Cannonball Run.
Great movie. There's some serious plot holes with Cannonball Run, but
it's a comedy. It's not meant to be.
Well, I mean, the finale though, the big one is the finale, right? Like they all start off and it's a timed race, and they all start off at different times, but at the end it comes down to who crosses the finish line first, and that's not the way it should be. Like they're racing for the finish line at the very end.
You're worried about fairness in your comedy movies,
right? Because they started at different times, right? So they were on the clock for different times. So why were they racing across the finish line at the same time? It loses me right there.
Who got a bigger head start?
It's kind of like Smoking the Bandit. Have to go get all that beer. And they don't drink any of it.
That's right. Just ridiculous.
Stupid.
Number 4.
Moving on up.
My number 4 is Teen Titans. I think everybody's probably pretty familiar with who the Teen Titans are, but this show, it still is one of the few shows that suck me in every single time.
Okay, not Teen Titans Go, right?
No, just Teen Titans. The one with Slade Wilson, or I guess where Slade is first introduced, and Tara and Raven and Cyborg with the Booyah. But that show, it makes me laugh. It doesn't take itself too serious, but there are serious moments. I love everything about that show.
So Raven is the real the emo girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And the goth queen.
yeah, yeah. I've never actually watched the show. I've seen her. I've seen bits and pieces, I guess.
So you haven't watched Titans on HBO Max, Jim?
No.
I recommend it. I like it.
I like it, but
You're
it
talking
does
about the
not.
live action or the show or
The
the
live
cartoon?
action.
Live action. Okay.
Yeah. How do you feel about that one, Jared?
I like the first. I haven't seen the last season or the season just recently came out.
We don't want to talk about what your show is. Let's go to Steve's.
But I didn't like the way the first season ended because the first episode of the second season should have been the last episode of the first season.
That makes sense. I agree. Yeah.
But aside from that, I liked how hardcore it was. It was like it wasn't what I was expecting. When he just basically
Sorry to cut you off.
Did I say dark and gritty?
No, he's
again?
not.
No, you didn't, but
Like I think it's the first episode in when he said man, I was just like, yes.
Now I got it.
I'm here for it.
yeah. No, the only reason I mentioned it, Jim, I wasn't changing the subject. It was just because if you'd watched Titans, you would be familiar with Raven. So,
Well, I know her from Teen Titans Go. That's the only way I really know her.
Gotcha.
But she's like, I guess she's a little more funny in that one. Where
it's meant for little kids.
Yeah,
and she's pretty powerful.
They can't be as violent as Muppet Babies.
Those are pretty violent.
Nice. All right. So we are at number 4.
Okay, that was He-Man for me.
He-Man for you for number 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very good show. So you don't have anything to say about it?
No, I haven't watched it.
Okay.
I just like it. Never seen it, but I like it. The name sounds cool.
No, we talked about it when you did.
We did. Okay. So my number 4, I veered away from the TV shows and went with the movie, and my number 4 is Shrek for animated here. I love the first movie. I think my favorite part is the gingerbread man scene. It's got to be. Mike Myers is great. It's just funny.
I love the White Bronco.
Yeah, that's great too. Yeah.
Didn't he play like 6 roles in that movie?
Or
am I thinking of a different movie?
Well, yeah, I mean, you're probably thinking of International Man of Mystery. What's his name? Austin Powers.
Austin Powers.
That was driving me crazy earlier. I didn't know.
I think that's the movie I'm thinking of. Yeah, where he plays a bunch of roles in that one.
Yeah.
So that's my number 4 is Shrek.
I Married an Axe Murderer. He plays a lot of roles in most of his movies. Really.
Yeah. All right. So
number 3.
Number 3.
My number 3 is Batman Beyond. I really enjoyed the Batman animated series. It was a great show, and then just to see the futuristic version of it and the new Batman, I fell in love with Terry McGinnis pretty much instantly. I'm begging for a Batman Beyond live action movie or show.
That would be great.
I absolutely love that character. I love the show. I love the universe. I mean, I guess it's set up in the animated series universe, which is why I love it, but such a great show.
It is. I like the show. It's actually not on my list because I never watched the whole series. The comic book is great. I like Terry McGinnis a lot. I love the look, the design of the character. I actually watched the show for the first time over in England, and over there it's called Batman of the Future instead of Batman Beyond, which is interesting. I don't know why they would change that. But are you familiar at all, Jim, with you're not familiar with Terry McGinnis? So he's he's a clone of Bruce Wayne. He's made from Bruce Wayne's DNA. Is what he is. So
almost like he had kids.
Almost. Well, he did have kids.
Bruce Willis did?
Bruce Wayne.
Bruce Willis.
Damien is Bruce's son. Come on, Jim. Don't you watch? Man,
No.
Don't you watch Lost in Comics?
No. What's that?
But so Terry McGinnis, he's great. Actually, my first introduction to how I got to him, Jared, was I started reading Batman Beyond when Tim Drake was Batman
I
in
didn't
the
know
New
Tim Drake
52.
got to be Batman.
Yeah, in the New 52, and in the New 52, Terry McGinnis was gone. Tim Drake somehow ended up as Batman. Brother Eye was the villain. And so after reading that, then I got back to looking into Terry McGinnis, and really like him as a character. Yeah.
Now, that Tim Drake? Was he as Batman like the Caped Crusader, or was he in the Batman Beyond outfit?
Batman Beyond.
I'm going to have to read that because Tim Drake is my favorite Robin character.
Mine too. Mine too.
So if he is Batman, I'm gonna have to read that one.
He is. Yep.
Had no idea he even became Batman. I know he becomes the Joker. I know he becomes the Joker in Batman Beyond.
Yep.
But
Batman Beyond #1. I can't remember if it's New 52 or if it's right after New 52. Well, no, it's before Rebirth, so it's got to be New 52.
Pick that up.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Or if I get that DC multiverse or infinite thing, I'm gonna have to find it.
Right. Yeah, that makes me want to watch the show now.
I think it's on HBO Max.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I still go back and watch an episode or two here or there at least once a month. I think I finished the first season last month.
I think they could definitely do a live action, and I think it would be very successful. I think people will have a hard time getting away from Bruce Wayne as Batman, so putting anybody else in the actual Batman in the cape and cowl is tough to get fans, but Batman Beyond suit is different enough to where you feel it as a different character. So, yeah, for sure.
Growing up as a kid, watching Batman pick up that gun and point it at the dude, my heart broke because that was Batman's one rule was he would never use a gun.
Right.
And just seeing him being an old, decrepit man pick up a gun because that's his last bit of self-defense, I was like, no, my Batman is gone.
Yeah. It's a cool show. All right, Jim, number 3 for you.
Right now, by the
way. Oh, yeah.
Do not add anything to this conversation. All right, my number 3 is Mask.
The Jim Carrey movie?
Yes. No, it's the cartoon. It's heroes against Venom. You know, they all have these masks that do powers. They all have vehicles that turn into other vehicles, which never made much sense to me. If you need a motorcycle to turn into a helicopter, why not just have a helicopter too? But, you know, my favorite part was when they called in the specialized group for that mission, and you know, a guy be throwing up pizza bread, get his watch a beep, and then he'd let the dough fall, and he's gone. You know, because pizza.
I'm not familiar with this at all, but I'm assuming MASK stands for something.
Mobile Armor Strike Command was the K.
Oh,
nice! Like Krispy Kreme, I love it.
Yes. What Venom stood for, I don't know. I can't.
Villain something.
Well, that would be. Hey, we're the bad guys. Don't think like that.
When you call yourself Venom, I mean, come on.
It's self-explanatory to what you are with the name Venom.
You don't remember the show?
I don't remember it at all.
Wow. So one of the people I follow on Twitter.
Twitter.
Said
every letter of Twitter
right now, but one of the people I follow. What's his name? Something whack. Anyway, he wrote a continuation comic for that and published them online and read them. They're actually pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Nice.
And so, anyway, I just owned a lot of these toys.
Right.
They all came with helmets, so they were safety conscious, and I really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun.
That's the key. When you're fighting villains, you have to be safety.
Yes. I mean, even bad guys have helmets. Oh, the vehicles were cool. They really were. I'm going to send you a link to some toys.
Okay, cool. There were a lot of vehicle-based toys in the 80s, weren't there?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So when you were talking about your cartoon a couple minutes ago, what was the boy that used to turn into a car when he got hot?
Oh, I don't know.
Boy that turned into
Yeah, he would literally turn into like a Corvette.
If only there was some way to find that out. Let me see here.
If only there was like an information that we could just get to at any time.
Yeah, I know. Turbo Teen.
Yep. Okay. That was good.
Never would have guessed that one. Never seen that one.
It looks like a Camaro.
Yeah, I can't. I was making stuff up.
I mean,
you're wrong. Thanks a
You were
lot.
close. It might be a Corvette. Let me see here.
He got the Chevy.
It doesn't say. It probably does, but if I keep looking, I'll probably close out of the whole thing here.
Was it a DeLorean?
No, it was not. Nice. So Mask.
Yes.
Look
I really love that cartoon. You should watch
Nice.
the introduction where they do the whole watch beat.
Will do.
It's like, they'd get the call and somebody's like delivering a baby and his watch would go off and then all of a sudden she's there pushing and there's no one there to catch the baby.
Yeah.
It sounds very 80s.
It was. Okay, so I tried rewatching this recently. I could not do it. Yeah. So, I mean, my list was obviously made by 8-year-old me, not 48-year-old me. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
So anyway,
all right.
Yeah,
my number 3, Dragon Ball Z. First time I watched any Dragon Ball, I was in Italy for a few months, and on TV at 5 o'clock they had this game show that's completely different than American TV. It was almost like their version of Wheel of Fortune, and the host looked like Ron Jeremy. He was about 5'4", little round fat guy, and then they had all these women in skimpy costumes, and they get called out before the commercial every time. They would say they were dressed up like fruit. They were dressed up like fruit. So one would come up to the screen right before commercial, and there would be music playing, and she would open her shirt and go Fragolina, which means strawberry, and then it would go to commercial, and then they'd come back. And this was right at dinner time, so very different than American TV.
This is the greatest thing I've ever heard.
But
I need to go
right
to Italy.
after that was Dragon Ball Z. Okay, and it was in Italian. It was dubbed in Italian, so I had no idea what they were saying. And actually, I don't even think it was Dragon Ball Z. I think it was just Dragon Ball at the time because they were actually searching for the Dragon Balls.
They do that in every
I know they do, but not so much in Dragon Ball Z. Right? I mean, Dragon Ball, that was the main focus.
Yeah.
Dragon Ball Z, it became much less of the focus, except as a way to bring everybody back to life.
Yeah.
So that's when I first started watching it, and then I started watching Dragon Ball Z when I was in England. And what's interesting, Jared, is in England, it's dubbed with different voices than it is in the U.S. So it got real hard to get used to the U.S. voices when I got back. But I just remember the first fight with Goku with Frieza.
One of my favorites.
Where one move in a fight would take like 20 minutes. Very slow, very methodical for a show. They probably could have done an entire season in about an hour and a half. But he moves up to Saiyan in that episode, and then we move on to the Cell saga, I believe is right after Frieza. Cell is just fantastic. Of course, the Frieza is when he learns the Kamehameha. He powers up level 1 at that point, right?
No, he learns the Kamehameha as a kid. He goes Super Saiyan against Frieza.
That's right. But just everything about it, all the characters, as you go through the series, the villains are great. The heroes are great. What's his name? The martial artist. Help me here, Jared.
Master Roshi?
No. The with no powers. The bad guy. He's like a man. He's got the mustache and the
Hercule.
Hercule's fantastic.
He's the comedy character.
Yeah, and then you get into the 16 and 17.
The Android Saga.
Right? Yeah, yep. The Android Saga, which is fantastic. Everything about it.
16, 17, and 18.
Right. And then it just levels up to Frieza comes back and he's fighting him, and it's a tough fight. And then Trunks comes from the future and just slices Frieza in half. You're like, wow, we're now at a whole different power level. Like just completely outrageous. And then it just leads to just getting ridiculous power levels. But the Goku Gohan relationship is very Clark, John Kent, where Gohan is almost always, you think he's going to be the stronger one, and then it's always Goku that comes back and is the strongest by just a mile. John is never going to match Clark, and Gohan is never going to match Goku. And then you get into the whole Dragon Ball GT debacle, and then we move past that and get into the good stuff again. So just so much great stuff about it. As excited as I am talking about it, I feel like this might be my number 1, but it's my number 3.
My favorite part of this is that you told us about a whole show before this show came on. It had nothing to do with the show. I absolutely love that.
Well, I preface how I got into it.
This whole time I'm like, okay, what show can I put on before my next number 2 that I can talk about for 5 minutes before I get to my number 2? That made me laugh.
The funny part about the whole Goku Gohan relationship is after the Cell Saga, they made the ending of the Cell Saga is still one of my favorite endings of Dragon Ball. That one-handed Kamehameha is to this day blew my little, I don't remember how old I was a teenager's mind at that time. But they were making Gohan, they were making him to be the next main character. He was supposed to be replacing Goku, but the creator of Dragon Ball Z is notorious for having a forgetful memory, and he couldn't remember what he was going to do with Gohan, and ended up like writing himself into a hole and made Gohan terrible that people wanted Goku back. So
the Saiyaman stuff was horrible. I mean,
you're not wrong. It was terrible.
Yeah.
But he wrote himself into a hole, so that's why Gohan ended up getting shipped back out to B Squad, and Goku and Vegeta being the number 1 and 2 again.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the whole fusion thing, just a great idea. Actually having to learn how to do it, not just being able to do it. It's just a really well-written show. My only problem with it, again, is that each episode could have been half the time.
Yeah, you didn't need 20 minutes of them screaming.
Forever. Like, I think it took a whole episode, it seems like, for the Kamehameha attack the first time against Frieza. It was like 20 minutes of him powering up and launching that.
That spirit bomb.
Yeah, the spirit bomb. And it's like, it's almost like the scene in Austin Powers with the, so that Jim can relate to it here, with the roller, right? Where he's driving at him with the roller, or the roller, and he's just sitting there. Yeah, that's what every episode of Dragon Ball Z is like with the battles, but just great. And oh man, I just forgot the other guy's name.
Jared?
No, the alien guy. Well, they're all aliens, but the guy who's like a Krillin. You got to feel sorry for Krillin, because in Dragon Ball he's so powerful, and then as it moves on, he doesn't power up, and everybody else powers up, and then he ends up kind of being the joke of the whole team. I mean,
he's the joke, but he's actually the world's strongest human.
Yeah,
because he's the only human able to keep up with them, but he's still so far outclassed.
So it doesn't take the Muppet Babies into account.
No, no, it doesn't, because they're not human.
I know, that's why I said it.
If you actually were to watch Dragon Ball Super, I don't know if you watched that.
I haven't yet. I need to.
It's really good. It takes a lot less of the screaming and for 20 minutes out, and it flows a lot better than the older Dragon Ball did. I really enjoyed it.
That's such a weird description all the way around. Takes the screaming out, and then it flows better.
Fragolina. Just remember that, Jim.
Fragolina.
I will always know that Fragolina is Italian for strawberry.
I'm never going to forget that one.
Just fantastic.
That was the most interesting conversation that I wasn't interested in.
Yes. All right, so that was my number 3. I don't have nearly as much to say about number 2 and number 1. So, all right. So we are now at that number 2.
Number 2.
My number 2, or as I got it labeled on here, 1B, is Batman the Animated Series.
Okay.
It could be my number 1, but I think just that's mainly based off nostalgia, because I literally can't go back and rewatch all of it. It's still good. I still love it. Still love the universe. Still love every character. I think that Batman universe is my favorite Batman universe, but it's very hard for me to go back and rewatch more than 2 or 3 episodes.
That goes for my entire list. I mean, yeah, most of this is nostalgia. So,
yeah, nice. I couldn't get into animated series. It looks great, and everybody talks about it as the best out there. And I've watched a couple episodes. I need to give it another try.
I've watched a couple episodes as well.
Yeah.
It was my Saturday morning. I got to get up and I got to go watch it. Cartoon.
Right.
I get up.
I think that might be the thing. It was just the wrong time frame for me. It was in between.
So you had to be awake to watch it?
Yeah. I'd get up, grab me a bowl of Cocoa Pebbles, sit down, and watch Batman. That was my Saturday. Oh, that was my cereal back in the day.
Man, how did I miss Flintstones on my list? Flintstones is my number 9.
Forget Captain Caveman.
I don't have the Jetsons on here. I didn't even think about normal cartoons. Like,
no.
Well,
no Space Ghost.
I only know Space Ghost from Space Ghost Coast to Coast, that little talk show that they did. That's the only thing of Space Ghost I know.
Space Ghost Coast to Coast. Yeah. Nice. Batman the Animated Series. I mean, I think that's
anything else to go with
a lot of people's list.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people's number 1.
I was going to say, if you don't know Batman the Animated Series, just go watch it. That's really all I can say, because it's such a good show. It's Batman. It's animated. It's got the greatest Batman voice of all time. It's Harley Quinn's introduction. If you like Harley Quinn, that's where she was introduced. Yeah. Mad Love is one of my favorite episodes in it.
Yeah, we should try that again. We should going on a jog.
There you go.
Yeah, because it would take me. Yeah, I could probably do 1 episode a week.
There you go. I mean, might be worth it.
Yeah.
I think it was like a Christmas episode, like episode 2 or something like that. And every time I get to that episode, I skip it because I'm just like
Batman Returns. It was the second movie.
That could be it.
They planned it out.
That could be it. But there's just like one line in there that's just like, oh my God, why did you say that? Like, what is this? It's just like it's a cheesy 90s line that I just can't get past, that I got to skip that whole episode. I don't know why. It just ruins the episode for me.
I know.
There you go. I talked you into it.
You don't have to sell me twice.
Talked you into it.
That's right.
Did you write that?
All right. Number 2 for you, Jim.
Number 2 for me is Transformers.
Robots in disguise.
Yep. I love this cartoon. I'm not the biggest fan of the movies, but I love the cartoon. I'm not even sure how many of them I had. The first one I ever bought was Sideswipe, and he broke the second time I transformed him. So I don't have a good memory. Anyway, I didn't particularly enjoy the toys. I loved them, but I broke a lot of them. Ooh.
Well, I was never able to transform them. I couldn't figure it out.
You forgot it once you did it once. Once you threw away the box, it was all done. Well, remember then the back had the decoder red thing that you would get their power levels, and then the Constructicons were introduced, and they all combined and made a giant robot, and that was the greatest thing ever. Devastator. It was also the first thing I ever haggled on at a swap meet. So I have a lot of fond memories of Transformers.
I never had any Transformers. I think I had like 3 GoBots.
Oh, GoBots.
Yeah.
I had 1 Transformer, and I think it was from Beast Wars, because I remember it being a scorpion.
That would be Beast Wars.
I
did not enjoy Beast Wars. Of course, I didn't try watching it until I was an adult. But I will watch the new movie coming out.
I have no idea what it is. I just remember I tried to transform it one time, broke it, and was mad. And I'm like, I'm never buying a Transformer ever again. I saved up my allowance for this thing and was mad that I broke it. And I was like, these toys are dumb.
That's actually pretty smart marketing. Sell toys that easily break, so you have to buy it again. Like, that's genius.
They were ahead of their time.
They were.
The cartoon was great, though. It was. I mean, neither one of you watched the cartoon.
I watched the original one.
Yeah, the original one. Great.
I remember watching some of it because I think it came on the Saturday night cartoons, like either after X-Men. I think.
I don't remember that. I never watched the X-Men cartoon, but I mean, even the animated movie. And when I said I didn't like the movies, I was talking about the live action movies. The animated movie, they killed Optimus Prime, and it destroyed a generation of kids.
Wow.
That's why my generation can handle stuff. And,
these Gen Zers.
Yeah. Anyway, it was fun. It was I've recently tried reading the comics, the IDW collection, and I have a hard time knowing what's going on because every robot looks the same to me in that. But great cartoon. I highly recommend it.
This might be a Mandela effect for me, but I don't remember Bumblebee being Bumblebee in the cartoon.
He was a Volkswagen.
I just remember a yellow car, but I don't remember it being named Bumblebee. I don't know why. I just remember it being something different.
Yeah, no, Bumblebee was just a yellow Volkswagen. I don't know when he turned into a Camaro and all that jazz. But...
Just for the movie, just for marketing.
Yeah, and he was kind of the liaison with the humans. Spike was always with him. I don't know. Bumblebee was never my favorite character. I never thought he was that great. I couldn't believe he was like the main character in the movies. Even though I really like the Bumblebee Transformers movie, that's probably the one I do like.
Mm-hmm.
But I was always a Soundwave guy.
Starscream was my favorite.
Yeah. So, yeah, I kind of want to. There's a Starscream plastic model I want to buy and put together. Except for I'm really bad at putting together plastic models. So I really want to buy this $49 box that I'm going to destroy. So,
I got a Boba Fett.
I don't know if you even saw this. This is a mix of Transformers and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, it is. You got the mixtape there.
Yeah.
Sound Waves of the Galaxy. That's nice.
Yeah. So I like Soundwave. Soundwave is my guy.
Did Soundwave have a mini bot with him?
That was also that came out, and he made my favorite Transformer, which was Rumble, who would rhyme when he did stuff.
So is that a T Public shirt?
What's that? Yeah.
Is that a T Public? 35% off right now. T Public, send me some free stuff. I'm plugging you on the show here.
Do it.
You can sponsor us. I'm going to send you an email here.
If you don't do it,
I order a lot of stuff from. I spend a lot of money on you, so.
Not sponsored. Want to be sponsored?
That's right. Sponsor me. Sponsor us. Sorry, Jim. I forgot you were here.
I introduced you to the site.
T Public, if you don't like Jim, I'll start my own show. Just sponsor me. Yeah. I'll get the pouch. All right. So that is your number two. My number
pouch right now.
My number two. My number two, we already talked about Justice League Unlimited. Again, the booster episode, my favorite episode, but there's a lot of good episodes in that. I really like when Superman gets they're all in this, I believe it's a spaceship, and Superman has the stuff that goes into his mind and makes him think that he's back on Krypton and everything's good and happy and all that. It's kind of controlling him, and everybody else is trying to fight to get out of where they are. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about, Jared?
Wasn't he a baby the last time he was on Krypton?
I'm
right, but this thing is controlling his mind. It's there to subdue everybody. I forget what it's called.
I'm thinking of Starro.
No, this is like a plant. This is like a plant that overtakes their their mind. And so Superman wakes up and he thinks that he's on Krypton and he's been raised there and everything's happened there and he's living his life. And then as the episode goes on, he realizes that it's all his mind's being controlled.
Oh wait, is that the one where Flash is the only one that doesn't get affected?
That's it. There you go. Yeah. So just a bunch of great episodes. It covers all the characters.
I like it when them that we can think of.
Well,
I like
Flash
to get into the secondary characters.
Yeah, Flash is the only one that doesn't get affected. He ends up juking out Superman by hiding in the vent. I love that scene.
So yeah, really fun show. Really fun show. So that is my number 2, and that takes us to
number 1.
We need like a little pop noise that when that one hits there.
I'll work on that.
There you go. My number 1 is, as Jim likes to call it, that pirate show. It's called One Piece. It is basically an anime about pirates. It is a guy named Monkey D. Luffy who wants to become king of the pirates. He's trying to find what is called the One Piece. It has been going.
Aren't we all?
Is it a bathing suit?
No one knows. It's been going on since 1999, and no one knows what the One Piece is.
Plus, we're all looking for 2 pieces anyway.
This is true. Well, they make some pretty good One Pieces. They have gotten very creative nowadays. But
Fragolina.
I'm never gonna be able to look at strawberries the same again. But
I'll be fine.
I lost my train of thought.
So is this a show you started watching as a kid, or
well,
is it
not
fairly new?
I've seen shows of it as a kid, but I think 2012 is when I really started watching it. I binged all of it basically in 2012.
How many seasons are there?
There is 1,063 episodes right now.
Holy crap!
Yeah,
there's
there's 1,071 issues of the manga or the comic, and that's what I read. I read the manga is what I read. It's one of my favorite things to read, and I'll occasionally watch the episodes and here and there because the animation has gotten a lot better than when it was back in 1999. But
I would hope so.
Right? But the story it's phenomenal. Like every episode has either had me feeling some type of emotion, either anger, sad, happy, laughing. It's great.
Keep going.
Put it this way, I've never cried in an anime, but there is one season in this anime that I literally was bawling my eyes out. And I can't even think of too many movies that have made me cry. Macho. But there's just one season. It's just like, oh my god, you don't see it coming without it being spoiled, and and I even knew it was coming, and I still cried. That's the worst part because it was spoiled for me. It's a phenomenal show, and I can't recommend it enough to anybody that likes anime.
The manga that you read. Am I even saying that right? Manga.
Yeah, manga. It's like tomato,
mangoes. Is it black and white?
Yeah, it's all black and white. They do have a recolorized.
I don't even know how I knew that. I think you might have mentioned it.
I think I did. They do have a recolorized version of it, and I don't think it's caught up yet. Completely.
Is it One Piece Deluxe?
No, it's just One Piece recolorized. They're not very
creative
with their names.
So are you ever going to find out what the One Piece is? Are they ever going to end it?
The author or creator of it, Oda, is I think
doesn't have a very good memory.
No, he's got a great memory.
Okay.
This guy will make callbacks from all the way back in 1999. You're like, wait, I remember that character, and it's from like episode 3, and like, holy crap, this guy's back. Like, he's currently fighting a character that was in, like, he's currently fighting one of the main bosses that he fought seasons upon seasons ago, like 500 episodes ago. and but anyways, different tangent. But yeah,
the IDW TMNT.
but he has said that he's got 2 arcs left, and an arc is basically a season, or well, I don't know. They do seasons differently in Japan. They do them by arcs. But he's got like 2 arcs left of the show or of the manga, and then it's going to be done. So there is an end in sight, but each arc lasts about like 2 years. So we're probably still looking at like 4 or 5 years left of this.
Wow.
Book or show or whatever you want to classify it as.
Generally, I don't have trouble in a book or show.
Well, that's the thing. Like, anime is mostly based off manga, so I don't know where you can classify. Like, but Dragon Ball Z was based off the anime. The manga was based off the anime because Dragon Ball Super, the anime is done, but now the manga picked up the anime. So
there's Dragon Ball Z manga?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Nice. Have to look into that.
Okay.
I will say though, if you do, I don't know if you know how manga works.
I don't.
Like, if you're reading comics, you read.
I don't even know how comics work.
Basically, you read it backwards when you're reading manga. You read the back page first, and you also read right to left instead of left to right.
There's a lot of things we don't know how to work. I've had it like 4 times if this is recording.
Sadly, it probably wouldn't make any difference to my comprehension.
Yeah.
It wouldn't, like, it doesn't sometimes, but there are some panels you're like, wait, what? That doesn't make any sense. And then you gotta, oh wait, I read that wrong.
Okay. That's cool. That's interesting. All right. Jim, you're number 1.
I think we all know it. G.I. Joe.
The real American hero.
Yeah. I don't even need to talk about it. I've talked about it a ton on our show.
The more you know.
Yeah. This is my childhood. The toys are my favorite things. I brought down toys just for the background.
Right.
Nice.
Again, more. I love all the Mattel cartoons.
Now, was it a toy before it was a show, or was it a show before it was a toy?
It was a toy that they used the show to sell.
Okay.
So they had the toys made, and then they made a show to sell the toys.
Okay.
Or was it Hasbro? Hasbro or Mattel?
Hasbro.
Hasbro. There you go. I got those 2.
I knew it wasn't right. I just couldn't think of Hasbro. So
there you go.
That's the motto. Just run with it.
So,
yep. Just gonna let you go.
G.I. Joe. All right. Cool. Well, my number 1 is Thundercats. Thundercats is my number 1. Just love the show. I haven't watched the remake, but the original, which I've tried to watch a couple episodes, and it doesn't really hold up that well. But watching it the first time, I'm a sucker for swords. My favorite episode of Thundercats is when they meet the lady in the lake, and she gives them Excalibur. And then so they have the sword, the Eye of Thundera, as well as Excalibur. There's a whole thing that goes on with that. The characters, my game name for World of Warcraft or any of those other games always includes Snarf. Snarf is the cat, basically, in Thundercats. One of the pet in Thundercats. Chitara, Lion-O, so many great characters. And one of my favorite comics is the Thundercats Masters of the Universe crossover. It's just fantastic. Love it. One of my favorite books. So, yeah, Thundercats is my number 1.
I did start watching that recently. Mm-hmm. I think I told you that. I enjoyed the first couple episodes.
Yeah.
Was the remake in 2016 or 2018?
Fairly recent. I'm not sure the exact year, but yeah, it's fairly recent. The animation is much, much better.
It looked really cleaner. I haven't watched it, but it looked really good.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of good stuff. So.
Snarf, obviously.
I have no idea what you just said.
I said, who's your favorite character? And I said, Snarf.
Oh, Snarf. Yeah. Snarf for sure. And all he really says is Snarf.
Why does your Twitter handle have Snarf in it?
Well, because reasons.
Okay.
I don't know. That's a good question.
Then.
I'm now going to have to add that, and probably going to have to change my avatar.
Isn't it Purple Turtles?
It is. That's my game name. No, I'm Comic Guy Steve, but my fantasy football was Purple Turtles. That was my team.
I remember Purple Turtles.
Yeah. I pretty much dominated the league. I just kind
of... just gave up in the playoffs?
Yeah. But just a couple weeks before. So that is my number one. So that is a really good list. You've now added more shows that I have to put on my list of stuff that I should watch but probably never will. The list keeps growing and growing and growing. And, man, a lot of fun. This is our longest show yet.
Yes.
Probably because I talked about Dragon Ball Z for 20 minutes.
Dragon Ball Z, we did comic reviews.
We did a lot of stuff.
I'm long-winded.
No, that's cool.
No, actually,
yeah, Jared. I'm glad you were here, Jared. Very much appreciate you being here and doing this. One of the things we like about having the guests make up the list is that it's stuff that we probably wouldn't think of, and I probably never would have done this list. But it was a whole lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed it. So, and that was 2 reallys. Really, really.
Really, really. If you like swords, you should watch One Piece. There's a lot of swords in One Piece. I will
check it out. I will check it out. So we are pretty much going to leave you guys with that. Anything else for the people out there watching, Jim?
Sorry, David. Hi, Grabs Granite with Midlife Vices. It has come to my attention that I said some insensitive things about a member of our community, and I would like to take this time to apologize. Pouch, David Vargas, I am sorry for saying that I would like to punch you in the pecker. It's out of my nature. I was drinking. I got some bad news. And I hope you accept my apology. Like probably 100% of the population, I don't want to be anywhere near your pecker. So please accept this heartfelt apology. And I hope we can continue our friendship. Yeah, that covered it. Have a good day.
It didn't feel as heartfelt the second time.
No. That's David.
I meant
Pouch,
it that time.
Come over to our side. Come over to our side. We are here for you. We'll help you out. So
they got cookies over here.
We got cookies. We'll let you make up your own list.
Ooh.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, he needs to come on by himself. I don't need
other
people here.
Yeah, I know. Other than the Christmas episode. So that is going to do it for us. Thanks so much, Jared, for being here. And we will see you guys next time on Midlife Vices. Take it easy. Talk to you later.
Have a good one, guys.